Hey guys, this is Kimmy here with my good friend Mary Beth, and today we want to bring you into the world of betrayal. Have you ever felt betrayed? I'm sure you have, because I know I have. Mary Beth, have you ever felt betrayed? What do you think a good definition of betrayal is?
Oh yeah, I've definitely been betrayed. And you know what? I'm sure there are people out in the world who thought that I betrayed them too. So, you know, sometimes, but what I would say betrayal is when you have opened up your heart, you are around this particular person, you do not have your guard up.
So you let your guard down.
You let your guard down, but
let them in.
Yeah, because that's what true relationship is about. Like that, you don't have to have your guard up. That you're open,
vulnerable,
and you can be intimate and vulnerable. Exactly. And so, you know, and typically that person has maybe shown you that was the right way to go, but then betrayal can happen, and it takes you by surprise. Because you didn't expect that person would do such a thing, and yet they did. And so it's a really hard one to swallow, and it hurts. It really cuts deep.
Yeah. You know what it feels like? It feels like somebody went boom and just like punched you really hard in the stomach at times, right? It's like
takes your breath away.
It does. It takes your breath away. But I always think one of my favorite sayings is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So what would you think about that little saying? That's by Wayne Dyer. Love some of his, mantras and his sayings, because that's a really good one. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Just when you think somebody hurt you on purpose and they violated you and they did all this wrong to you, once you realize hurt people and damage people, you could almost start to see a little change in the way you look at something, so you're not so breathtaking, right? So you're not losing your breath and in so much pain, because it's so painful when you get betrayed, right?
Yeah. And I think that part of the freedom, like you said, comes from a mindset, but I also think that then enters in the whole idea of forgiveness.
Forgiveness. That's the keys. The magic keys. That's the magical keys to unlock the heart of great pain. Have you had to forgive some people?
Oh yeah, but I think part of the forgiveness is I think you have to look honestly at what has happened, and name it for what it is, but not. Yeah.
That's my deal, feel, and heal. Remember, look at those. You got to deal, feel, and heal, right? Like she's saying, you have to address.
Right.
So what do you mean by you have to call it for what it is?
Yeah, sometimes I think that you can get stuck in places because maybe you're not willing to admit that that episode hurt you, or that something that somebody did to you actually did hurt you. You want to put your good face forward, but sometimes that's not always the right thing to do. I think that in order for, a lot of people, don't we all know this? I know people in my own family who do this. If you had just met them today and they talked about what Dad did to them, you would have thought Dad just did that to them yesterday, but it was 40 years ago. They're still dragging the ball and chain around with them of things that really did happen to them, but they weren't willing to call it what it was and to work their way through that pain and to come to forgiveness, but instead have held on to bitterness, and it shaped their lives in ways that were really actually hurtful and harmful to them. So it's really important that, listen, we are all betrayed. Even my Savior was betrayed. He knows what it's like to be betrayed by a friend. Judas gave him a kiss. That's not what a kiss is for. But it's important to recognize and to work your way through it and come on the other side forgiving. That does not mean reconciliation with the person, but it does mean that you're free from that damage, that the betrayal could potentially have done to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? I think it's like, do you ever like think of a house on fire, right? And everything in that house has this burn smell after. You know, they put the fire out, but not that everything was consumed by the fire, but still everything was definitely in the fire. Like the smell of that smoke touched everything. So I think that when you feel betrayed, you could take it so personal that you think it's intentionally towards you. But you have to realize, you literally, when you hold on to something for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, even 2 years, even 2 days, if you hold on to something, you're carrying all the weight on that U-Haul truck. You feel like you just got out of a burned house, like you're carrying the smoke and the stinkiness around, because the bitterness hurts you. It doesn't hurt the other person. Mm-hmm. Bitterness is like drinking the poison and waiting for the other person to die. You're actually waiting for that other person to die, but you drank the poison. Okay. Right? It's like once we let that set in our heart, it literally starts to give us pain, stress, anxiety, fear, depression. You could start to really go inward centered to great depths of darkness because you're holding on to something so tight. And I remember when I would want something so bad, and I remember I wanted to marry this guy so bad, and he was an ex-addict, but yet he still was struggling back and forth with addiction. And it was so comfortable for me because my dad was an addict. So of course you tend to go to what you know. So I would hold on so tight, but I remember to always give God permission. I'm like, God, please, please, I want him so bad. Please, I want to get married. And see, I wanted to get married. Not necessarily to him, but I just wanted to be married. I think that's the hard part, is right? We will do things with wrong intentions because we want something so bad, you'll have it at all costs, right? But I was still willing to allow God permission, saying, God, but okay, I'll let go. If you don't want him for me, take him from me. And he did, quick too, quick. And it was the greatest decision I ever made in my life. And I thank God that I always give him permission. Always give God permission to take things out of your life that don't belong there, and to keep things in your life that do belong there. He will be your guide. Listen to that intuition. He gives you that intuition. It's that still small voice in your heart or in your mind that you can hear, that gives you wisdom, that gives you understanding, that gives you sense. So I want to share about like a betrayal that I've just been through recently. And you know, I mean, Mary Beth has been through so much betrayal, and we've helped each other. Like, I think it's important that you have a friend that you can support one another unconditionally, right? I feel like she had just went through a betrayal, and I was able to be there for her. And she would say to me, you know what, Kimmy, thank you so much for this whole process. Like, you've just loved me unconditionally. Even if she had to talk about it over and over and over again, like, it was okay, because a true friend will be a good listener. Right? A good friend is a good listener, and that's what I've been for her, and that's what she's been for me. And I think a real healthy relationship, and I'll tell you about the betrayal after, it's a good mutual interdependent relationship. Right? What have you experienced about healthy relationships?
Well, I'm still learning. Part of, I'm going to say, the betrayal that I came from is really, in some ways, partly my fault. You know, like I enabled...
Owning responsibility.
Yeah, I enabled. I was a person that, you know, and you can learn through these things. See, like when something hard happens to you, you can learn from it. And so one of the things that I've learned is that I am no longer responsible for regulating anybody else's emotions. I am not responsible. If somebody's an angry person, it's not my responsibility to make them unangry. It's not my responsibility. So part of I'm going to say betrayal is when you become healthier and you learn healthy boundaries, that person maybe who you have been enabling and taking on that responsibility that did not belong to you, it almost feels like when they shift and change on you, it feels like a betrayal, but really, you just got healthier. And so you have to take on and be willing to live with the pain and the truth of really what that relationship was. And it wasn't healthy, right? So healthy relationships is me being responsible for me and you being responsible for you. And when the healthier that I am and the healthier that you are, we're not dependent upon each other, but I'm this independent person taking care and stewarding my own life as you do yours, and then we can come together in an interdependent way and be healthy. You know? Now, that sounds easier said than done, but you can work toward that.
And you know, we've had issues, we've had stuff, you know, there's things that bothered me or there's things that bothered her about me, but it's that good relationship of knowing that you can come to each other and say, listen, that really hurt my feelings that you did that. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't even realize and I won't do it again. Like, it's that simple. Like, it's not complicated to address one another when you're healthy and whole. And I think that's the goal is, you know, to become healthy and whole. Like, betrayal could destroy us. But it's because if we don't change the way we look at things, the things we look at can change. But if you don't change the way you're looking at it, you'll be affected by it. And it will follow you. Your big U-Haul truck. You watch some of my other videos. The U-Haul truck. Y-O-U haul truck. That's the great thing to remember. You're responsible for your crap in your U-Haul truck. You gotta get rid of it. So when someone does hurt you, it's not really, you don't take it as betrayal. You take it as, okay, God is shutting a door and he's going to open another one. So for instance, I'll tell you of a big betrayal that happened to me recently. You know, I developed a staff and it took me time. COVID happened, and then this 5 team from a different salon didn't want to go back to their salon and because of whatever reason, and so I took them on and I had a manager. And then she would say to me the whole entire 6 months that she was here, she would say, man, you have such an A+ staff, you have such an A+ staff. And
was the manager the one who would say that to you?
Yes. Yep. So the manager would say that, and you know, the truth of it is that, you know, I take pride in hard work and I sacrifice. Like, I feel like I give a lot. Like, I went to the schools for these young girls and I did training and teaching mindsets at their schools, and then they came to me and said, I really want to work for you because I do want to grow, because I do want to learn. And I think that's the kind of person I am. Like, you're going to invest in modern techniques, I'm going to invest in you. You know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that's the goal, and that's what's important for me. My people, I want them to know I care about them. They're important to me. Like, what they want is important to me. So this team coming in, when you have a team that's already kind of has their own habits and their own ways already, it's very hard to imprint new things because they have to be coachable and wanting to and willing. So I think that probably was the problem. But anyway, they also had gained some influence with some of my other staff. And you know, after the whole COVID thing and then the Christmas holiday came, they kind of opened a salon down the street and said, you know, I'm not going to be coming back. And so it at first for a quick moment felt like a betrayal. And then I thought, no, you know what? It's if I change the way I look at things, the things I look at change. I have more peace. I have more happiness. I have less stress. I have less, you know, things that I have to deal with, because now I know that the new people that I hire, you know, they say hire slowly and fire quickly, right? Because if somebody's not a match for your place, the stress is not worth it. The anxiety is not worth it. Peace that surpasses all understanding is your goal and your aim. That's what you want, right? And I know that if I didn't do my affirmations and if I didn't do my mindset training and my meditation with trusting and believing that God works all things together for good, I would not be okay. But I'm going to tell you, I am okay, and I know that God shut the door that he wants shut, and he's going to open the doors he wants open. You know, we got to give freedom for God to work in our lives for our good. Because he says, my ways are higher than your ways, just as the heavens are higher than the earth. So we have to learn to trust and to seek him to know that, you know, he's going to put us in a better direction. So it's funny. So the original response for me was, oh, they all betrayed me. It hurts. That's terrible. It's so not nice. And, I wanted to be angry and be mad, and I thought, you know what? I've been down that route before, and it never ever works to be angry and mad. It's to let go and to love and to give, your blessing to them in a sense of not taking it personal. It's not personal. It's just that maybe it was time to move on because new seasons, people want new environment, new things. So you build, and that's what I'm excited about now, to build the great foundation, because we still have our foundation, which is in place. Honey, if you got a great foundation, you can always build a new structure on that great foundation, and you could build a better one than you had before. So I want to tell you, don't ever let betrayal really be betrayal in your life. Let it be freedom from something that didn't belong to you or with you or for you, right? Let go of relationships that don't serve you. Let go of people that don't serve you. And I don't mean serve you. I mean that the situation doesn't serve you. Like it's bringing you more anxiety, get rid of it, cut it off. Bringing you more stress, get rid of it, cut it off. You need to keep yourself in a healthy environment. You need to keep your own mindset clean. You need to keep your own mindset with good affirmations. I'm enough. I've always been enough. I'll always be enough. I'm a winner. I've always been a winner, and I'll always be a winner, right? And I think, you saying those affirmations every day, I am abundantly rich, healthy, happy, whole, fit, and complete. I lack nothing, and I'm happily married. I've been adding that one to it as well at the end, because marriage could be tough sometimes, and you can go through deep, dark valleys and come up on top, and go through deep, dark valleys and come up on top, and it's a process. So all of life is a process. I think that was my word last year. Process. Honey, it's such a good way of saying it. Process is life. This year, my life is called abundance. Abundance. God owns it all. Let me tell you something. You ever get his credit card, it's limitless. You get his love. You get all the blessings and benefits that God has, and he owns the whole world. It's all his. And trust me, that you'll never ever be betrayed by God. That's one thing you can 100% count on. People can hurt you and harm you, but don't let it. So we want to encourage you to just look up and look forward to a better life through your own choices that you make every day. So anything else you want to add or end with?
No, I think you totally said it. It's true. It's like God, like you've said over and over, is he opens doors that no man can close, and he closes the doors that he doesn't want you to walk through. And so God's got your back. And like you said, he will never, ever betray you.
Amen. Yeah, that's it. So God bless you guys, and have a wonderful day.